Hi there. Welcome to the 30. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host. If this is your first time joining us, we want to thank you. Thank you for, if this is your multiple times, fourth, fifth, sixth time, we want to thank you again for tuning in. The 30 is produced, of course, by the Jackman Group, LLC. Our goal is very simple: to provide our viewers with relevant information and knowledge to enhance your personal, spiritual, and professional lives. We focus specifically on leadership, business, entrepreneurship. Our guests come from different backgrounds and diverse backgrounds, and they all have a story. So today we are going to be talking about strategic partnerships. We talked about that last week as it related to man-to-man, the Candid Conversation Conference. We're going to continue and kind of close that chapter for now, but we're going to continue the conversation. Last Saturday, we had man-to-man Candid Conversation Conference, and what an amazing time. I had a great time. From the feedback, the men had a great time, but we couldn't have done it without our guests, which are the men, our sponsors. We couldn't have done it without our speakers and without our MC, of course, and then without the AV company that we hired. So all in all, it was a fantastic time. Those men that didn't come or didn't attend, you missed a great time. But we will continue that as we go forward. This was our second annual conference, and we hope to have it again next year. Not sure of the time or the format, but this year, because of COVID-19, it was virtual. So we had men from all over the country. We had also someone from Hawaii, someone from Guam, someone from Barbados. So we were well represented. So if you missed it, too bad. We will catch you on next week. But we have some great things planned for men. Our goal is basically to encourage, educate, and empower all men of all backgrounds who have a desire for personal, spiritual, and professional growth. So we have some things planned, so you want to stay tuned to the 30, as well as you can go to thecandidconversations.com. That's thecandidconversations.com. And you can check out there exactly what we are going to be doing. We'll have some resources available up on the website to help men. We're also on August 25th, we'll be rolling out our professional development 5 weeks program for men. That is called Elevate. So you want to check that out as well. And that's focused on, again, all men. Our goal is to try to enhance, encourage, as well as empower and educate all men. So those are some of the things that we're working on. So stay tuned. More to come as we reach out and try to bring all men in and then have a discussion. It's fun because I was reading a friend of mine's posts this afternoon, and what she talked about was men always thinking that things are great and not admitting when things are not great. And those are some of the things that we want to talk about, not only now, but going forward on this program, but also in different forums to come. But without further ado, I have a young man who he was one of the attendees of Saturday's conference, and I asked him if he can come on and have a chat with me. So I'm going to bring him in. His name is Anthony. And also, if you have any comments that you want to drop Anthony or myself, feel free. So I'm going to bring him in now. Anthony, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Patrick?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it very much.
Of course.
Let's see here. Okay. So you sent me a private chat there, huh?
I did, just to give you a warning.
No problem. Anthony, let's talk about you. Just introduce our viewers as to who you are, Just give a brief background of yourself. I know we talked before, and I have some idea, but let's talk about you and give the viewers some idea as to who you are.
Sure. Well, my name is Anthony. I'm from Rochester, New York. I currently work at a hospital where I am a lead patient care technician, which is a unique title, and it's not very common. You won't find that title in most hospitals. But basically, I oversee all the care assistants in my department. Um, Lived in Rochester my whole life. Bounced around different places. Lived in Virginia for a little bit. Lived overseas for a little bit, and then different parts of Rochester as well. But somehow I always end up back in Rochester.
Always home for you, huh?
I guess so.
Okay, all right. Now I mentioned that you are a young man. So do you want to say how old you are or range?
Yeah,
It's up to you.
20,
Okay.
23.
23 years old. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. And Anthony, you attended the man-to-man conference this past Saturday. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that as we kind of wrap things up with the man-to-man conference, but yet still we'll continue as we move forward with other programs and projects and forums. Let's talk about why you attended. What was the purpose for you attending?
So I would say the main reason why I attended was really to support one of the speakers. Mark Rennie spoke, who's a good friend of mine, and I wanted to support him. He told me about it, and honestly, I wanted to get to know exactly what the Man-to-Man conference was, what it entailed, and I figured the best way to do that was to join.
Okay, good, good. And you joined early too, so that was you because
Yes, I
it was
did.
originally planned for April 25th, and I
Yes,
think you registered early at that point.
it was very early. I was
So,
as soon as Mark, told me he was going to be a speaker, I was on board.
all right, all right. So Mark is a mentor of yours?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, all right. Or he would call you his fourth child, his fourth son.
Yes,
That's
he would. Him and his wife.
okay. Great,
Yeah.
great. Now, what about the conference intrigued you? What? Well, first, what sessions did you attend?
Yeah. So I attended the financial session with Tom Casper, the 10 rules, uh, or the 10 roadmap rules to financial success. Um, and then the second session was breaking the stigma of depression. And then I attended Mark's session, of course, strengthening the father-son relationships. And then the final session was um, I signed up for seeing hope through the current crisis, but I
Hmm.
ended up in finding purpose in, maybe that's what it was, finding purpose in crisis. Those are the sessions that I attended. Um, Really, the two set. I mean, I took something away from all of them, but the first session with Tom Casper
Hmm.
was all about that financial aspect, right? So that's something. What I learned was that I'm financially incompetent. I, I really was like gung ho. I was like, I took a financial literacy class. I was like, I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. So he talked about basically investing in your future self and investing in yourself, and gave really great ways on how to do that. I took a whole bunch of notes on that, and actually, I'm planning on reaching out to Tom and helping him help me build a financial portfolio and all those things. But that was a big thing that I took away, is that obviously I have a lot to learn in the financial aspect, and how important it is, especially as a younger person. The earlier start, the more you're going to be ahead of the ball. Um, from the stigma and depression session, um, really the speaker, and I forgive me, I don't know his name.
That
I
was Carl.
forgot. Carl. Thank
Carl
you.
Brinkley. Yeah.
He spoke on a lot of topics that were raw and genuine, that I think a lot of men would probably shy away from.
Mhm.
And I think that says a lot about his character. And I think it says a lot about as men, the importance of speaking on things that may be a little bit touchy, but need to be spoken about.
Yeah, and that session was breaking the stigma of depression.
Yes, thank you. Breaking the stigma of depression. Um, so And I think his testimony as well, in the breakout sessions, I know it touched a lot of people. So that was a great session. Um, the final session was very impactful as well. And then Mark's session, I took away, he challenged all of us basically to go out and mentor and to rescue people in certain aspects of their life in whatever way we can. And that was a big takeaway for me, to just go out and find, even though I'm a young person, I'm currently being mentored. You're not too young to find a mentor. So just to challenge myself and do those things.
Yeah, Mark's session was the father-son relationship.
Yep.
Yeah. I just watched that today, and it really hit me. That was all were excellent. The speakers, from what I saw, they did a fantastic job.
Well, Mark's was the best. No,
of course, you're partial to
I'm a
Mark,
partial, but no, he did
and Mark do have a comment up here, and I'm going to show that. He says, "That's right."
That's right. That's right. He knows.
So, what were some key takeaways for you
from Mark's session?
From any of the sessions, what were things that you took away and said, I have to do this? I know you said from Tom Casper's, and Tom's was the 10 rules of investing.
Right. So, yeah. So like I said, I took away a piece from each session. From Tom's session, basically, I need to find someone, whether it be Tom or somebody, basically a financial advisor, to mentor me in that financial aspect, and learn about more how to develop a financial portfolio and how to invest in my future self, basically.
Sure.
That was a big key I took away. And then from breaking the stigma of depression with Carl, he gave a lot of awesome tips and hints on helpful for, I work for a company called Compeer, which is basically, it's a mentorship program where you work with kids that are diagnosed with mental illnesses. And my kid the child I'm working with right now has depression. So Carl gave me some really awesome insight on depression and what it entailed, and really how I can benefit my kid that I'm working with, and also develop more empathy for him and understand where he's coming from when I talk to him. So that was really beneficial, and that's gonna hopefully impact the young man that I work with. And then, like I said, from Mark's, really that challenge that he put out there about pursuing people and finding people to basically rescue and save in whatever aspect of their life they need to be saved in. Those are the big key takeaways that I took away.
Okay. And you had the last one, the fourth one, because you attended 4. Each man were allocated 4 workshops. The last one was with Dr. Chris, and you talked about what?
So I will say, so the last workshop, there were some technical difficulties in the beginning, so I didn't get the entirety of it. But I'm hoping that either Mark or you can share that with me, because Mark raved about it. That was his favorite session out of all of them.
Got it.
I know that was really impactful, but I didn't get a ton out of it because I just financial or technical difficulties.
Okay, and that was finding your purpose.
Yes, finding your purpose. Wasn't it like finding your purpose in the middle of a crisis or something?
No, that was another one. So finding your purpose, and that was
gotcha. That was the one that I got booted into.
And then the other one was finding hope in a time of crisis.
Yes, that was one that I signed up for, but the links got swapped.
Okay, all right. So overall, what was your experience like?
Overall, I had a pretty great experience. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really know what to expect, especially because it's all virtual. And I know in the past they've had, it's been face-to-face.
Right.
But I had a really good time. I thought it was really neat, the engagement between the MC and the participants, and seeing that. I really loved the breakout rooms that we got a chance to, after each session, get together, network, talk about what we learned. Also, because I didn't get a chance, you can't sign up for every session, but whatever somebody took away from that session, I got to know exactly what they got from it and what the session was about. So in a way, I kind of feel like I got to go to all the sessions, and just the organization of it as well. The texts that were on hand were very impressive, and how well set up it was. I was very happy with that.
Awesome. Good, good, good. So here's a difficult question for you now. Let's put you on the mat here,
Oh, great.
Anthony. So from the things that you've taken that you took away, and I sent a message out, I think on Sunday or Monday, in terms of you going out and implemented it. What plans have you outlined, or have you outlined any plans yet? And have you started to implement some of those plans and strategies?
So I sent it. Well, so for like the financial aspect, like I told you, I reached out to one financial advisor
Good.
from a friend of mine. So that was the first step that I took. And actually, it's kind of scary too, because you are trusting these people with your finances. So I'm a little hesitant. I haven't gotten a response back yet. But again, Tom gave me some awesome advice. He said interview a few people before you select your financial advisor. So my first step with that, I really on the other ones, I try to on a daily basis implement that theme of finding people to mentor, and I do have people that I'm mentoring right now, like I told you, and I did using that the notes that I took from Carl, breaking the stigma on depression. I have a meeting set up with my compeer kid next Friday. So I want to go over what I learned there and see basically if he's got any input, if he thinks it's good, if it's going to be helpful, tips and tricks, things like that. So I made that next step, but it's not really going to happen until next week.
Okay.
Those,
All right.
those
At
are the
least
two ones.
At least you have something planned and it's in action. So it's moving forward. So you are in that high percentile of men that are actually moving forward and being active. So that's good. I'm talking to Anthony, and this is the 30. We're talking about Anthony is one of our strategic partners in terms of the men that attended Man to Man. And we're continuing the conversation with him about his experience and what he gained. And we're going to shift next and talk about specifically why men should get involved with things like these, whether it's a conference or a forum, a symposium. So we are talking to Anthony. If you have any comments or questions for Anthony, you can just drop them in a comment line, and we will put them up on the screen. So Anthony, why should men attend specifically the Man-to-Man conference, but any men's conference?
Well, I think so. Like I said, going into it, I didn't know that this was going to get out of it, but that networking and finding other people to connect with, I think, is so important. Especially, there's something special that happens when it's my computer's acting up here. When it's a man relating to another man, like there's, men to women is fine too, but there's some fundamental issues that you connect with and relate to other men with so much easier. So to attend a conference like that, I think is really important to, just networking in general, I believe is important, but going to the conference, networking is just another name for building relationships.
Sure.
And which is, in my opinion, probably one of the fundamental reasons why we're here on this earth, is to connect with other people and to share experiences. And part of that sharing experiences, and especially if it's like a younger person with an older person, as a younger person, you don't have a ton of experience, and older people usually have a little bit more wisdom that they can impart on you. So, I encourage people to go to men's conferences, specifically man-to-man conferences, to grow yourself. If you, whether it be financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, they're going to give you tools and awesome resources that are going to help you be successful.
Awesome. And you hit on a point that we really haven't stressed, and we kind of downplay it, but it's an important part of the Man-to-Man conference, and that's networking. That's connecting. So we talk about all the the speakers, we talk about the breakout sessions and the workshops. But a key component of it is that networking and connection. And you hit on it, that is an important piece as far as man to man, working or talking or building relationships. What have you found anyone outside of Mark that you connected with on the conference?
To be honest with you, no. But like I said, I plan on reaching out to Tom to help me in that financial aspect, and as well as I have to email Carl. That's on my to-do list. He's gonna send. He's working on a book he's publishing, and he's gonna send me the PDF. So those are two people that I'm planning on connecting with. I kind of dropped the ball on those two. I apologize.
That's okay. There's still time.
Yeah.
Now, we talked beforehand while we were in the green room. We talked about Elevate, and that's the program that we're launching, that launches on August 25th. And it's a 5-week program. And basically, the goal is to continue the conversation. It's a paid program, but it is specifically focused on giving the men the tools that they need to move forward after the conference. Talk about that. I know that we talk about you being part of with it and your excitement. What are you excited about it?
I did not know that it started August 25th. So now I'm kind of panicking. I'm like, that's very quick.
That's okay.
But I'm excited to learn more about it, what it entails. Again, and I know speaking with you before this, it's that idea of growing yourself, right? And for me, it's never really been about growing myself for me. I try to build up my toolkit and resources with information so that I can help other people in whatever way that looks like. So if I were to go attend Elevate, it would be because I want all of those strategies and I want to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all those things, so that I can be a good resource for other people, basically, and know what I'm talking about and have a wealth of information. So when I do go to mentor or a partnership, I have that information and I can do that confidently and successfully.
Sure. Good. So for those that are interested in Elevate, you can contact us at info@jackmangroupllc.com. It's right here at the bottom of the screen, and contact us and we'll give you some more information on that. But it's a 5-week program where the goal again is to take the man from where they are to where they should be and design to be. Our goal is to help you become a better you, basically. So Anthony, let's talk about the last, we got about 6 minutes left. What are some of the things that you would like this audience to know about you and where you're going next?
That's a great question. What would I like them to know about me and where I'm going next? I'm not sure. I don't even know where I'm going next, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I guess what I would like them to know that I don't think it matters what age you're at. I think that even Mark's wife, she's an adult, but she still says, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. So if anybody gets anything from this, it's that we're constantly growing, we're constantly maturing, we're constantly finding different passions and things that interest us. And it's okay to sometimes not know exactly where you're going to be going next. But as long as you have a goal and plans and you are constantly working toward that, that's another thing we talked about, Patrick, was that willingness to work on yourself and to at least search. You can't just really sit still and hope for something to happen. You have to be intentional and aggressive at times when it comes to those things. So where am I going next? I have no idea. I really don't. But doing things like Elevate and having a mentor and doing things like Man to Man, I get these different people from all these different backgrounds that I could connect with and talk to. And sometimes doors open, and sometimes it's just somebody says one thing maybe a job that I didn't know existed, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and then a career path unfolds. That's again why it's so important to connect with other people on that basis. So, you know, hopefully with some more mentoring and searching, I can figure out where I'm going next.
There you go. And here's a comment from Dave Young, who is one of our speakers and sponsors, from Dave Young CPA's LLP. And he says, love.
Okay, all right. Gotta love
So,
love.
yeah. So if there's a need for taxes, accounting services, whether business or personal, Dave Young CPA LLP is the way to go. And I've known Dave for 30 something years. So
Wow.
we've been friends that long. I know I don't look a day over 23,
You
Anthony.
don't.
Well,
No, no,
thank
no,
you
no.
so
22.
much.
22.
Okay, 22.
Yeah, yeah.
What advice, Anthony, can you give a young person like around your age? And I know you've gone through some things. What advice can you give to young men?
Yeah. I love that question. Advice to young men and people around my age is basically to become a part of, sorry, somebody's mowing the lawn, to become a part of something greater than yourself.
Mm,
Um, that gives you, hopefully it gives you a sense of purpose. So, and I think a big part of that is that rescue theme that we heard about in the Man-to-Man conference. So, you know, finding people, you can be started as a young adult, and then by the time you're older and have this be much more wisdom, you're going to be that much better. So my advice is, while you're young, find someone to mentor, assess your friend circle, your friend network, whether it be people at church or at work or school, and kind of figure out who there out of your friend group or work, whatever, who needs to be rescued in some aspect of their life, and then go and pursue that person. And I want to say this too, Patrick. Oftentimes, the people that need to be rescued the most are the ones that are the most resistant.
mm.
Whether that be because they're arrogant and they feel like they got it all under control and they're going to be just fine and they can make it on their own, or because they feel like a burden and that they're unworthy and undeserving of it. Those are the people that I think young men and just adults in general need to be really mindful of and chase those people down a little bit harder until they get the help that they need, or whatever we can offer them, that we meet that and we can offer them whatever they need.
All right, good. Anthony, thank you so much. I can see now why you are Mark and Michelle's fourth son. You fit right into the family. So I want to thank you so very much. As I told you in the green room, you are awesome young man. I expect great things from you. You are going to touch many, many, many lives, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you.
Just continue to believe in yourself.
Yes, I appreciate that. I'm working on it. And thank you for the opportunity to have me on, Patrick. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. All right, we've been talking to Anthony on the 30. He was one of our attendees at Man to Man, the Candid Conversation Conference. I want to thank you once again for being here on another day. Continue to smile, continue to encourage, continue to reach out and touch someone else, or let them know that they are somebody and that you believe in them. So until next time, I think this is it for today. Anthony,
All right.
any last words?
Peace
Someone
out.
says, wait, before I go here, I want to put this up here. Cindy Ray. And Cindy Ray has a business in Dallas. And she said, you are very wise at such a young age.
Wow. And very naive as well. But thank you, Cindy.
Cindy, thank you so very, very much. We're going to bring Cindy on in a couple of weeks. I'm going to extend that invitation to her. So
Cool.
thank you once again, Anthony.
Thank
Thank you for watching the 30. We will see you next week. And as we end, as I always say, may God continue to bless you and your family. Be safe and stay healthy, please. Thank you. We're out.